Dynamite Delight.
Welcome to Dynamite Delight, another possible action-packed episode. This could suck beyond no reason, or it can be passable. You're going to be the one that's going to make the decision if I do a decent job or not. Now, before I get started, I am going to talk about my thoughts about Final Battle at the end of this review, and I may need a little bit of input. So let's get to the very opening of the show. Guys, the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal. I'm going to tell you this. Was it good? It was okay. It had a lot of people from ROH, which is a crock. And they have AEW guys, which is a crock. Which one are they?
Are we ROH or are we AEW?
You guys tell me below. Which one? Before I get to the ending of it and who was there and who won, you already know who won. But tell me, what does this company feel like? Does it feel like ROH? Does it feel like AEW? Does it feel like a melding of the two? Or you just don't know what you're looking at? That's a good question. Food for thought. Now, we had a lot of the people that have been shown. I kind of wish these same people that have been shown would do more tag team wrestling because...
Wasn't that all about AEW in the beginning?
Tag team wrestling? I barely see any tag team wrestling. We see trios. We see the women doing more tags than the guys. I'm kind of wondering where are we getting this from, huh? What happened to the ranking system? I know it's gone. Tony's not talking about it. They'll show you what you win and lose, but still. At the end of this, we had a Ricky Starks. We had Ethan Page. We had, who's this guy? What was this guy's name? Sean Dean. He looks interesting. And we had a Matt Hardy, who is still under the control of Hathaway's and Hathaway's firm. He still doesn't have his contract removed. He's still trapped there. So this was more interesting and important than the Battle Royal itself. Now, I will not say the Battle Royal was bad. I won't. Seeing that Kip Sabian is having a situation with an Orange Cassidy, and Orange almost threw him out head first, which he kind of almost did. And then he got thrown out by, who was the one who threw him out? I can't remember who. But Kip Sabian got thrown out. Later, it was by one of the two guys who comes from Austin, Texas. And that is he just came back and he just got thrown out so quickly, Dustin Rhodes. Kind of wish they'd done a little bit more with him. But he was one who got rid of Kip. And that's understandable. So Orange and Kip are going to still have something going on. But the end of this is more important than the entire Battle Royal. Seeing that they were hammering down on a Ricky Starks. And Ricky, as a newcomer to Austin, Texas, living in Texas now, he won. And then you get MJF coming out. Now, I'm going to tell you this now. I could save this for the end. I'm not doing that because I still got to talk about ROH and Final Battle. This was the most important thing of the entire show to me personally. Not saying anything else here wasn't bad. It was all decent to good and very good. And what are they doing? But this was the most important thing to me personally. Look, I've known a few people who just don't get Ricky Starks. Over the last year and a half since he's been active, that he was holding the Taz's FTW title. No one gave a damn, and I kept telling people Ricky is important. I've seen Ricky in NWA well before anyone else. I was doing NWA reviews in 2019, and Ricky was there doing the television title picture. He was there. He was something. And then you look at MJF, that everyone loves and adores and can't stand and must hate. I saw him before anyone else as well. And technically speaking, if you look at the catalog of videos that I've done, and I did the National Wrestling League, and that is KC, National Wrestling League, I saw him there back around, 2016 or 17? I even did a video on him in 2016 and 17, along with Marty Bell and whoever else was at KC at time, KC's National Wrestling League. I was the first person there to see it and to see him. And two boys, my boys, that I reported on my rinky-dink little channel. Look where they are now. The second biggest promotion on the planet of the United States. Not the planet H, but I was about to say that. But the second most biggest promotion in the United States recognized. And look what they're doing. A segment that was great. Look at how MJF was trying to belittle him and calling him the Pebble because he's trying to take bits of the Rock. Everybody takes something. And look at how he was doing a Roddy Piper, and that was MJF, and that was what Ricky talked about. When you looked at how well MJF talked, then you look how well Ricky talked. You can see how good Ricky as a talker is and how great MJF is as a talker. Ricky is here. I'm not going to tell you Ricky sucks. He's not. He's a good talker. MJF is here because he's been in a high-profile spot a lot more than Ricky, and that's not saying anything to Ricky. Ricky's a damn good talker. He is here. This is average. He is here. But MJF is here. But after that talk, he was brought up to near MJF's level. And I don't know how just Alex is going to think about Ricky Starks. I don't know how JD is going to think about Ricky Starks. I don't know how Solomon is going to think of Ricky. Not even the Sleg Daddy, who doesn't do videos often because he's always working. Working corporate is not easy. But to me, knowing that I saw them ahead of anyone, not saying that weren't other people reporting it. If anyone had seen National Wrestling League's KC branch, because there were two branches at the time, or NWA. There were some people doing NWA reviews, but I was one of the few who did them a lot. I was one of the few that did them a lot. I'm not saying I was popular, but I did them. And I said this, and look at where they are now. Hopefully someone will recognize that I got an eye for talent. Maybe. But this was the best segment I've seen Ricky do, and MJF always pretty much delivers. So I am very interested in seeing this when they have their match. And now that Ricky won, he gets two shots, two guys. He's already got the main shot at Winter's Coming. Then he gets another shot on top of that. So maybe they are trying to build him to mean something. I don't know, but you guys tell me below. Let's move on. Now, the TNT title match is Samoa Joe versus Darby Allin. Darby was annihilated. Yes, he got some defense in. Yes, he looked great while doing it, but Darby is not Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe annihilated him. Not only did he do a power slam on the concrete with Samoa Joe, not only did he get face slammed into a turn post and did a 360 in the air and landed sideways and under a guardrail. He was annihilated by Samoa Joe, choked out, looking like done, which made him look good because he didn't tap, but then it made Joe look monstrous. So it's good to see that Darby Allin can put someone over right and look great while doing it. But then afterwards, we now have Samoa Joe dealing with Wardlow because Wardlow came out right before Samoa Joe was going to destroy a Darby again. The reason I'm botching here is, you guys tell me below, what would you rather see Wardlow do? Do you want to see him go? You see him getting angry. TNT title or ROH TV title? Which one do you think he should go after now? What is he doing when he was the TNT title holder? Not much. Yes, he was destroying everybody and everyone loved him, but he wasn't doing anything. He didn't have any major feuds after MJF. The only person he did deal with was Powerhouse Hobbs, and then it's gone because now he's been thrown under Samoa Joe. So what should he be going after? Should he be going after the TNT title or the ROH TV title? To be honest, at this point, since AEW is really having a problem because of ROH, being prevalent there, you might as well let him go after the TV title. I really believe you keep Samoa Joe on the TNT title and you let a Waller go after the TV title. I think that would be the wisest thing. Let the King of TV drop his title that is from ROH and just give it to Wardlow. I think that'll be more wiser. I don't know if they're going to book it. They probably won't, but you tell me below. Now, we had the tag match of Hayter and, well, let me give it to you like this. Do you actually care about the Jericho Appreciation Society's Danny Garcia or Jake Hager? You may say yes, but they're not really the biggest focus. It is Chris Jericho. Then you look at Claudio as well as Wheeler Yuta. You care more about them because Claudio is about to go up against a Chris Jericho at Final Battle. You do not know if he's going to be part of the Jericho Appreciation Society or supposedly because after the match was over and the faces won because they had to win because of the controversy, what happened with William Regal, Steven, if you're going to be there, you had to let them win. And then when Tony came out, go into the ring with all three of them, it's Mox, that's Claudio, and Wheeler, and shows them the footage that he took 2 weeks ago. And you see a still functioning, because you know that probably wasn't filmed 2 weeks ago, it probably filmed a few days ago, of a William Regal, I'm about to say call him Steven. He sounds better as Steven, but he explains the reason why he did what he did. He knew that he wouldn't be able to leave, and that is pretty much because he's going to WWE. It's already been stated he's going to go back. So he wanted to make it very clear why he had to leave and why he got his ass cleaned by a MJF. He tried to make it very clear, look, I knew there was nothing more I could teach, but I knew they weren't going to let me go. So this is what had to happen. They had to learn their final lesson that they can do anything. They don't need me. I do it for them. Now, was the segment after that needed? Yes, but then they didn't mention him. And there's a major problem. Look, I understand he's going to probably go back to NXT. Let's be honest here. The person that may go back to NXT, that is the most important for NXT, isn't just going to be New Day. Well, New Day's never been in NXT. But the person that's going to show up in NXT, I truly believe that is needed the most, will be William Regal. They have never been right when he was removed. And honestly, if he goes back to WWE, I truly believe he will be the one that's going to be the face of NXT. It will not be Shawn Michaels. It will be William Regal. I truly believe that. That's what everyone loves. Everyone loves William. Everyone adored William in his position as general manager. And since Shawn Michaels is not the general manager, he is just the one who is the head of NXT, but not the one who runs as a, well, you know what I mean. They need him. But that part that they didn't mention him, maybe they will at Final Battle. I don't know. But it's going to be, I've never understood why that when someone leaves, and it's obvious he's going back, that you'll never mention him again. He should be mentioned, at least in this respect, to really give the fans closure. Moxley could have said, I've seen this now, and I'm still mad at him. I'm still pissed off at him, but I understand him because even though he pissed my ass off, I can see his point of view. That's all. You don't have to say, I agree with him or I don't agree with him. I see his point of view. That's the way he is. That's what he wanted to do. He thought that was wise. Fine. I really felt like you should have addressed it. That was me. Now, here is Malachi Black in the House of Black. Did they need to do this vid pack? Yes. They need to do something. Now that Malachi came back. Look, when it came to Julia Hart, she did her part. I love her in this role. She doesn't need to talk much. Neither does a Buddy and Brody. Brody, not Broly. That's Dragon Ball Z. But You know, when it came out in 2000, no, not what am I saying, 2003, in 1984 or 1983, I was 12 to 13 years old, and I never got a chance to really see it. It's not something they showed in New York. I wish I could have saw it when I was a kid, the original Dragon Ball. I guess that's the reason why Broly King makes me think of, well, you know, I just shut up. Do I believe the House of Black is good? Yes. Do I believe this may work? Yes. But will it be booked well? I don't know. Let's move on. Now, the match, I truly do not. I see what it's going, and I'm going, why? Why?
Why?
You got the baddies and Jade Cargill versus Sky Blue, Kiera Hogan, and the. Before any of this, I stated over a year ago, or a year and a half ago, that I was worried that when the baddies were created, that it would be all about Jade Cargill, not about Red Velvet, not about Kiera Hogan. It would only be about her, and these two women would never get over. The only person that would be more important to get over would be Jade Cargill. Look at what we got now. We got a 6-woman tag trios match. And it was not about Kiera Hogan dealing with Jade Cargill because she got fired. What was this about? This was about a possible Red Velvet getting frustrated due to the fact of how she's being treated now that she came back as a baddie. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to have Red Velvet possibly go up against Jade Cargill again. Really? Many people say, yes, yes. Really? Guys, what will you gain in the long run? Short term, yes, it will be a feud that many people will be fine with. I am talking long term. Long term. That is for Red Velvet, a Jade Cargill, and guess what? A Kiera Hogan. Not even talking about Layla Gray. What about her? What does she gain? What is Sky Blue gaining? I can understand Madison Rain. You see him watching get angry. You see about Madison Rain. They just want her as a trainer. They don't care. Sometimes she'll wrestle, but she's never going to have a major part to play in AEW's women's division. She won't. If she did, she would be number one contendership for the TBS title. Not the AEW title, but the TBS title. To do something to make her interesting. They could have done something with a Serena Deeps, who could have been the inaugural champion. They needed a veteran there, and they gave it to Jade. Now, she's been, 42-0, I believe? And what has she accomplished? Yes, she raised herself up, but she did not raise the damn title up. Either the person who holds the title is made by that title, or the title will make that person. You got two individuals, a title that needed someone to raise it, and a person that needed something to raise them. And you stuck them together, and this is as far as it got. And taking nothing away from Jade. Jade has busted her ass to improve in the ring. She's worked on her mic work. She still looks like a goddess with this. She looks good. She sounds generally pretty good. She is not as botchy as she used to be. She seems to now be getting the psychology of how wrestling's supposed to be. And I commend her. But now she's stuck with a title that will not elevate her anymore. And now that they will not let her relinquish that damn title, she's not gaining anything. She's stagnant now. And instead of letting her be stripped of the title, or lose it, or something else, she's still holding it. And now because they have no one for her to work with, there's a possible retelling of a feud they had in the very beginnings of AEW. That is Red Velvet, who is still very new in the business. Herself, yeah, she had a lot more time than Jade Cargill did, at least a couple of years more, easily. and Jade, who's been in the business maybe 2 years, and when it comes to Red Velvet, maybe 4 years now at this time, 3 or 4 years easily, or 5. No. In the long run, this will not help Jade. This will not help Red Velvet. And worse yet, the person that should be doing something should be Akira Hogan, who has been in the business more than 10 years than either one of them. They could do something with her, but no. I'm just saying. You see what I'm talking about. Now, let's see what else we have here. The final match of the night. And that is the AEW Tag Titles. That is from FTR versus The Acclaimed. Was this the best match of the night? Hell freaking yes, it was. It was the best match of the night. And it was a damn good match on top of it. What happened with Darby Allin and Samoa Joe was the most brutal match of the night. But this was the best match flat out. But I didn't expect FTR to win. No, not here. They're not going to win the AEW titles here. And I was proven right. Because I believe it was Caster who won over Cash Wheeler. Yeah, I believe so. And that, you could see the shock in his face and getting upset. And that's good. It shows he knows when to act for the camera. But the thing that makes things interesting is after it was over, the Gun Club gets on the Titantron. And they said, you know what? You guys did a great job. We're not coming down and we're not going to mess with you. We don't need to. Because you got problem with them broad. Yeah. I'm interested in this. Because them boys won a match at Final Battle. And that is a double dog collar match. Now, this show was okay. Not great, but it was okay. But like I asked you a couple of questions. How do you feel? But here's where this video ends for AEW. Now it's a question that I have to ask. Now that we're going to have Final Battle on the 10th, and we're going to have Deadline on the 10th, guys, I can't see them both. Deadline comes on the 8th, but Final Battle starts at 4. And if I know how AEW makes their shows, it's going to be at least 3 hours. And that will bleed right into Deadline. So the best option I can think of is to do Deadline and then do Final Battle Sunday. That would be the best option I can do because there's no way I'm going to be able to do Final Battle. Then I have to record it in the middle of what's going on with Deadline because here's the thing. I thought maybe I should do Final Battle and then see Deadline the next day. And I thought about that, but then it would be kind of a waste of my time. Because, yes, I would be able to see it, but then I'm going to want to watch Deadline because I'll have the rest of the day to watch it. And I wouldn't be able to do 2 videos at the same time. I couldn't be able to write my notes and remember everything that's going on Deadline as well as Final Battle because that's going to be, 6 hours worth of content I would have to try and remember and write it all down. So I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to do Deadline and then I'm going to do Final Battle. But I got to tell you how I feel about both of these shows. I am curious what's going to happen with Chris Jericho versus Claudio. I want to know if he's going to win. Is Claudio going to join the JAS? I want to know what definitely the most important match of Deadline is going to be New Day versus the Pretty Deadly for the tag titles. As I said in my NXT review, the question is going to be, is New Day finally allowed to stay in NXT for a while? Because technically speaking, they've done everything they can on the main rosters of SmackDown and Raw. What else can they do? Are they going to go over the main event? They're not going to go main event. They're going to go somewhere where they can be seen and they can do something. But if they stay on the main roster, what are they going to do? They're going to go up against Bloodline again? For what? They got beat. Bloodline beat them to become the longest reigning and recognized tag team in history. If they had waited, at least if they could, waited until a pay-per-view, that would have meant something, but they couldn't. Because the time period needed to make it mean something was too short. So, is what we got. So for me personally, I am curious about that. And Braun Breaker versus a Apollo Crews. Will Braun actually keep his title? And then you wonder about Apollo Crews because he needs to win. Apollo's reached a point where he needs to win. But Braun, I just don't know if he's ready to just drop that title again. It's too soon after they unified the titles when it came to Taylor Bates. I'm curious. And that's for both shows. So this is what you're going to get. And I hope you enjoyed this
Dynamite Delight
review. Please leave a comment below and maybe a couple of likes. Peace.